Hey everybody, it's Cheryl, aka Insignificant Middle Child. Just doing a quick video update. I believe it's been like a month since I posted the last video, and things were not great then. Um, I just had to rewatch it to remind myself what I had talked about, and I know that my health was not doing really great then, and things were hard. And the grief was still a factor. I was getting weepy and things like that. So I wanted to give an update because some stuff has changed. um, the biggest thing that has changed was when I did go to my doctor's appointment. I said to my doctor all the things I had pretty much conveyed in that video, that things were not right. I explained everything I had been going through. A battery of blood tests were done, and the C reactive protein was sky high, and I became anemic. I had an iron deficiency, and my blood cell count dropped from 333 to 116. So that's why I was in such pain and having such a hard time in the last video. The other things that came out positive was that an autoimmune blood test called an ANA came back positive, with an abnormal speckled pattern in the blood. So that was positive, but so was another thing called anaplasmosis, which is a tick-borne illness, and apparently anaplasmosis will attack the red blood cells and can cause your platelet count to drop and also cause you to become anemic. So we believed that that was what was causing those problems in me. Um, and it was also probably what had caused that major migraine I got. Uh, so the anaplasmosis was treated with a 10-day antibiotic of doxycycline, um, and that seemed to have taken care of that. And I'm so thankful for that. It was hard because when you're on doxy, you can't go out in the sun. You can't eat certain things, can't have dairy, stuff like that. So I had to be careful what I ate, and I couldn't. It was July 4th, and I couldn't really enjoy myself because I had to stay out of the sun and stuff like that. But those were small prices to pay to get rid of that nasty illness. My doctor also put me on another med that was to help me with my anxiety and some of the other problems I was having. That would also, because it would calm the anxiety, it also helps with the pain and those things. And I have to say that that did help me. I don't want to put on the video what that medication is, but if anyone wants to know, you can send a comment below the video, and maybe we can set up a way for me to tell you confidentially what that is. But anyway, so that did help with the pain as well. I still from time to time get a little bit of back pain, a little bit of pain in my legs and my side, but not like before. Not at all like before. And because it helped with my anxiety, it's also helped with the thoughts that were going through my head about getting a new job and all the fear of that, and that kind of thing. It also helped with the grieving process for my son. Of course, I'll always have episodes of missing him and grieving his absence in my life, but I'm not getting teary as quick as I was before. I'm not going into hysterics anymore, and it seems to have helped with that as well. So things are better. With all that being said, the With the anaplasmosis gone, I have my notes here, so excuse me. With the anaplasmosis gone, um, my blood pressure remains high, about 140 over 90. So it's still on the high side. Shouldn't be that high when you're on blood pressure medications, but my doctor doesn't want to mess with those yet. She feels maybe, as time goes on, it will steadily get better. My hand tremors and my leg shakes and weakness is still there. They're actually a little worse than they were before. I even have trouble chopping vegetables and stuff. My hand shakes so bad. The chronic fatigue, I get tired very easily. Just doing basic house chores can be a big chore to me. I can do the dishes. Say I do the dishes, and it takes me about 45 minutes to get all the dishes in the kitchen cleaned up. I am just spent after that. So that to me is still not normal for me. I'm used to go, go, go. So, but anyway, um, the C reactive protein for the inflammation in the body, that blood test came back normal again. So that's a good thing. And I think part of that is because I don't have the stress like I did before, and the anaplasmosis is gone. So I think that that's a good thing. The autoimmune ANA blood test, however, came back positive and is still elevated, um, which makes sense to me because I didn't just start having problems with a tick-borne illness. I've had problems for years, as I've said in prior videos. I started having severe back pain at the end of 2019, and then, of course, through COVID, having COVID 3 different times and the 3 COVID shots and everything else. Um, the Epstein-Barr being reactivated. That and the CRP came back positive back in 2023. So um, I'm not surprised that the ANA blood test came back still positive. However, I was a little disappointed because my doctor said that she believes it's a false positive result. I don't understand that. I With the anaplasmosis gone, it dropped. It went from one parts of 160 to 1 parts of 80, which is still considered elevated. So I don't understand why she would believe that that's a false positive. So I'm trying to find out um, what I can do about that. She also referred me to a neurologist for the shakes. And I don't know if that's the right path to take. I have no idea. I don't believe it is. I may have to try and find out if there's like a autoimmune specialist or somebody that will start taking this a little more seriously for me, because even though I feel a little better, I'm still not myself and back to being completely clear of symptoms. So we're still fighting that. But anyway, that's my update. I at least feel like I can still I can function again. I don't get winded going grocery shopping anymore, and stuff like that. I can at least do some stuff, um, and I feel like I might not get as fatigued if I want to start writing again. So I plan on doing that again very shortly. But to change topics a little bit, we just lost an actress, Kelly Mack, to the same cancer that my son passed away from. My son had a diffuse midline glioma, astrocytoma of his spine, and he passed away at the age of 25. As I've said in prior videos, this is considered a rare cancer that normally affects younger children. Um, I have people I talk to all the time through support groups that there's just been such an uptick of this type of cancer, and Kelly Mack, and I knew right away because I had seen her before. I was like, where do I know this actress? That's because I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, and she was on The Walking Dead. Um, she passed away from the same exact cancer, a diffuse midline glioma in her spine, astrocytoma, and she passed away in 8 months at the age of 33. Unheard of. Unheard of. These cases are exploding everywhere. And no one's taking a real clear look at that as to what is causing such an uptick in this type of cancer. I mean, as I said in my last video, I believe I know what has caused it. But it's just crazy. It's just amazing how this is just getting out of control. I did see a video that's floating around on X and on different social media platforms that RFK Jr. has supposedly admitted now that us conspiracy theorists were right, and that there is a problem with the Myrna shots. I know he's canceled a bunch of the funding for Myrna. There's such information going back and forth, back and forth. Some of it says that he's doing the right thing. Others says that he's not. It's hard to know what's real, what isn't. But from what I've seen in this video clip that's going around, is he had admitted that we were right, that there are vaccine injuries, that there are deaths caused by these vaccines. And when I saw that video, I saw that yesterday. And when I saw that video, I said, you know what? I remember that I just received a new email from the VAERS system concerning Jason. Nothing concerning mine, but that's okay. Concerning Jason a couple of days ago. And it was on August 6th. I received an email from VAERS and requesting more information. And I had forgotten about it until I saw that video. And I said, I better report back to VAERS if they need information. So today I sent them the information they wanted. They wanted to know the name of the hospitals and doctors at the time of his surgery. So I still had all the paperwork still together from the initial surgical procedure through the pathology reports from the tumor dissection and all this stuff. So I sent that to them today. So hopefully they'll get that information and they'll see exactly what happened in Jason's case. And so then I started looking again for some more information regarding this. And what I read about RFK Jr.'s video, I took a snapshot of this because this really meant a lot to me. It says the experimental shots didn't just fail to stop transmission. They may have triggered an immune system collapse in countless recipients. And that's part of the reason why these cancers are just starting out at stage 4. And no matter what kind of treatment or immunity type things you do, nothing's going to work. It's too late. Nothing's going to work. Their immune system is already down. It's already weak. I watched this happen with Jason. He was getting better and better and better, and then his body filled up with blood clots, and he had to have the blood clots removed, and he had to have another surgical procedure to have that done, and then we went from that into because he had to do self-catheterization, we went into a bladder infection, and once he had that infection, that's when everything started to really go downhill for him because his immune system was compromised. No one tracked neutrophils, lymphocytes. I mean, I didn't even know what any of this stuff was before Jason got sick, and no one tracked them closer than I did. Oh, his iron's a little low. Let's up the spinach. Come on, Jason, you're going to have some spinach salads, which he loved, by the way. Giving him superfoods like broccoli sprouts and anything to help his immune system, vitamin C. And, I did everything I could to help him. Um, so that part made sense. This immune system collapse made perfect sense. Then it says when the body's defenses are compromised, dormant cancer cells explode into life, consuming victims from the inside out. So, yeah, this all made total sense to me when it comes to Jason's case because Jason had some back pain. We thought he had sciatica. The doctors he had seen prior to all this thought he had sciatica. Gave him stretching exercises to do, gave him, the typical pain medications to take, um, stuff like that. No one imagined that he had a spinal tumor at his age. He was at an age that this stuff just doesn't normally happen. Maybe if it does, it's very rare, but it just doesn't normally happen. And so what I believe is that he may have had a tumor and it was dormant and he had just been living with it um, until he got those vaccines. And it was the booster shot that really set it over the edge and made the cancer explode, um, grow so fast that by the time you could do anything about it, it was stage 4 already. There was nothing we could do about it. We went from, oh, it's sciatica to now he has drop foot and can barely walk to he can't use the bathroom or anything anymore to the hospital to surgery and so on and so forth. So um, I am thinking positively. I am hoping that now that RFK Jr. is starting to talk about this, that maybe more can be done. I know that there's been several hearings on Capitol Hill. I know that there's been a group of injury victims speaking publicly and doing what they can to bring attention to all of this. And I know there's all these doctors and stuff that suffered through this because they wanted to help their patients, and they got chastised for that. Some of them even stopped practicing medicine, and the whole thing was such wow. You want to talk about conspiracy theories? It's not a conspiracy theory. This happened. This happened. I mean, it would make a great movie if it wasn't real. Um, anyway, so I just wanted to make this quick video update to let you guys know what is happening. Um, my neurology appointment is next Tuesday, and like I said, I'm not sure if that's going to bring anything to light. I think that's the wrong path, but my doctor referred me, so I'll go. But I don't know if that's going to give us any new information. Um, in the meantime, I'm just still dealing with whatever it is, this autoimmune issue that I may have. And as long as the medication keeps working for me, I can at least function and until I have another flare up. And sometimes if I do too much in a day, I may be down for the count for the next two because the energy will just be gone. I mean, there are days where I'll sleep until like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning because I'm just so tired. And getting moving in the morning is the hardest. Once I'm up and I'm moving and I shower and all these things, it tends to get a little bit easier, but to get jump started isn't easy. Uh, so I don't have anything really else to talk about at the moment. But I hope everybody is feeling a little more optimistic like I am that some of these things are at least being looked at now. I mean, it's been what, 6 years? I mean, going on 6 years. Um, you would think that by now there's been enough voices and enough attention brought to these problems that someone would start paying attention and listening. I see all these commercials for Dr. McCullough and the wellness group and all these things, and come on, people, it's out there. These problems exist, and as I've put on my X several times, turbo cancer exists. People are dying. My son died from turbo cancer. At this point, it really doesn't matter who believes me or not. I know. And just hearing those things from RFK saying that he believes that it also turbo boosted cancer is definitely a step in the right direction. Because my Jason deserves justice. And all of us who have been talked down to that we're just making shit up or, don't know what we're talking about or whatever. I've had people say that, my ignorance is what killed my son. Well, no. Yeah, it's starting to be validated. So hang in there, and I'm going to hang in there and continue fighting the good fight until it's actually well known by the masses that we were right and that justice for our kids and justice for our loved ones is served. All right, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you want to continue to get updates. Feel free to leave comments. Like I said in the last video, I don't even care if you don't agree with me. I'm willing to just have adult discussions about these things. And I will post something else soon. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.